Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for the opportunity to meet with you this morning and share the work of the Lake Winnipeg Foundation. My name is Alexis Canoe, and I'm the Executive Director of LWF. Despite all the challenges that we've all experienced over the past year and a half, it's always nice to have these opportunities to connect, even if only virtually, and to start off our summer in this way. I'll begin by acknowledging that Lake Winnipeg is part of the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Dakota, and the Métis peoples. This is a lake that has long been cared for by the people living on its shores. The Lake Winnipeg Foundation was founded in 2005 on the west side of the lake in the village of Donater. From the very beginning, we have brought together science and action to create solutions for Lake Winnipeg. And if science provides the roadmap towards these solutions, it is grassroots citizen engagement that really drives them forward. It has been undoubtedly a tough year for community action. We had to put aside many of our usual approaches. We certainly weren't gathering in groups like we have in past years when this photo was taken. But the community spirit was just as strong, and the creativity and the commitment of our staff, our board, our members, and our volunteers was truly inspiring. Our team has been rolling with the punches, adapting to change, and finding new opportunities for impact along the way. One thing that remains certain, despite all the changes and adaptations of the past year, is the focus of our work. Our work continues to be guided by the Lake Winnipeg Health Plan, a set of 8 evidence-based actions to reduce phosphorus loading, the root cause of harmful algal blooms on Lake Winnipeg. The Lake Winnipeg Health Plan is itself guided by 50 years of research from the Experimental Lakes area in northwestern Ontario. On your screen is a world-famous photo from an iconic experiment on Lake 226 at ELA. Researchers separated this lake into 2 halves using an impermeable curtain, adding different nutrients to each half. And it was only the half that received phosphorus which developed algal blooms. You can see those green blooms in the bottom half of the photo. Subsequent research at ELA demonstrated that these algal blooms could be effectively controlled by reducing phosphorus inputs to freshwater lakes. A focus on phosphorus is being used to improve the health of lakes across the country, including Lake Erie and, closer to home, Lake of the Woods. Here in Manitoba, however, our provincial government continues to divert energy and effort towards nitrogen reduction, despite all of the evidence that points to phosphorus as the culprit and to phosphorus reduction as the most cost-effective solution for our lake. We've been working hard over the past year and a half to ensure that there is a focus on phosphorus in ongoing efforts to upgrade Winnipeg's North End Water Pollution Control Centre. Phosphorus reduction can be achieved quickly and cost-effectively if we start making the right decisions. We've seen some great progress on this file over the past year as a result of our continued efforts and the strong voices of our members. As environmental regulator, the province of Manitoba has prioritized interim phosphorus reduction. This is the first public recognition they've given that phosphorus needs to be dealt with most urgently at the treatment plant, particularly because of ongoing delays in completing the full plant upgrade. The interim phosphorus solution that LWF and our partners proposed in early 2019 was further evaluated by the city last year and demonstrated to be an effective means to reduce the plant's environmental impact. So LWF is leading the charge in bringing workable, feasible solutions to the table, and governments are now following along. Most recently, Winnipeg City Council approved $10 million in funding for interim phosphorus reduction, and the province of Manitoba, in their role as environmental regulator, have provided their official approval for the work. So these are great steps forward for the North End treatment plant, but we are still not done. All the official approvals are in place, but now we need to monitor how quickly and how effectively the actual work to reduce phosphorus is implemented at the plant. LWF remains very concerned about the timelines and the targets that have been shared for this work. City Council originally committed to implement interim phosphorus reduction within 14 months of finding a viable solution. They are now not sticking to their own timeline. The interim solution, which should be in place by April of 2022, is not projected to be completed until late 2023. We've also been told that the interim solution will not be able to achieve the phosphorus limit set by the province for the North End treatment plant. This is because phosphorus reduction requires biosolids capacity, and there currently isn't enough capacity in the plant's aging infrastructure. Well, luckily, we're about to build a brand new biosolids facility, which could be used to solve this exact problem. Yet, astonishingly, neither the city nor the province have put forward any concrete plans to solve the phosphorus reduction problem by ensuring that the new biosolids facility is designed to accommodate full phosphorus removal. Based on the city and the province's most recently published plan, we are still over a decade away from meeting the North End treatment plant's phosphorus limit. And this is a limit that was originally set way back in 2005. So our work continues. LWF is calling on the province to enforce the following. Firstly, to ensure that the interim solution is up and running by April of 2022 with measurable reductions in the North End treatment plant's phosphorus releases. And secondly, to ensure that the provincial phosphorus limit set in 2005 is met as soon as the new biosolids facility is completed, by proactively ensuring that phosphorus reduction is integrated into this brand new facility's design from the very beginning. Unfortunately, from what we've seen from both the city and provincial bureaucrats over the past year, there will be no progress on either of these two opportunities to reduce phosphorus without a strong call to action from the public. And we've been successful before. Back in 2019, it was public outcry in response to continued inaction and horrible blooms on the lake that led to the province to finally declare that the city was actually out of compliance with its own operating license. Now, 2 years later, the public needs to remind the province to do something about ongoing non-compliance at the North End treatment plant. It's time for the province to stop asking the city what it can do and to start telling them what they have to do in order to protect Lake Winnipeg. Another ongoing focus of our work in 2020 was the Lake Winnipeg Community-Based Monitoring Network. This citizen science network is providing important data to improve Lake Winnipeg water quality by identifying phosphorus hotspots, the areas that we need to target to reduce phosphorus loading to Lake Winnipeg. We were just getting ready to launch our 2020 field season when the pandemic hit Manitoba last spring. Thanks to the amazing dedication and the considerable effort of our staff team, our science advisors, and our dedicated volunteers, we completely rejigged our sampling plans with two goals in mind. Firstly, the safe participation of all of our volunteers and partners. And secondly, ensuring data continuity at key water sampling sites where we've been working since 2016. Thanks to the proactive effort of our teams and the incredible commitment of our volunteers, we managed to collect over 1,000 samples in 2020. And this was at a time when many agency water monitoring programs were essentially closed down. So our data will be filling an important data gap. Unfortunately, the pandemic is still delaying lab analysis of our 2020 data, but we're excited to share the results as soon as it's safe to have our samples analyzed. And now we're back in full swing for the 2021 field season, and it's clear that the community-based monitoring network is bouncing back from the scaled back activities of 2020. This graph shows the number of flow monitored sites that we've sampled over the last 5 years. Flow monitored sites are important because they provide us with both phosphorus data and water flow data. And we need both of these data sets to calculate phosphorus exports and generate hotspot maps like the one on the right. These maps help us share the network's findings with policymakers and community partners alike to promote action. So we're excited to report that we'll have phosphorus exports for more sites than ever in 2021. This pandemic hasn't stopped the Lake Winnipeg community-based monitoring network. While we continue to collect data to build this long-term data set, we're also very committed to making sure that the information that we're generating is getting into the right hands to make a difference. We know that more data isn't always better if it's not being used to address community concerns and solve water problems. To this end, we're sharing LWCBMN identified hotspots with provincial and federal officials. We see a particular opportunity to use this data to target government funding to phosphorus hotspots, where efforts to reduce phosphorus loading will make a measurable difference for the lake. To learn more about this work, you can find a copy of our most recent report, Realizing the Full Potential of Community-Based Monitoring, on our website. The final action of the Lake Winnipeg Health Plan is taking responsibility, which is all about our individual and collective actions as lake lovers. And this action was just as busy last year. It was a year like no other. As I've said before, we've had to adapt and change course and rethink old approaches and generate new ideas. But throughout the pandemic, it's been clear that the lake is just important as it's always been. And the commitment of our members is just as strong. In 2020, we launched a brand new virtual education program to safely continue our work to build the next generation of water stewards. Virtual education tools are creating whole new possibilities for water education and water science. Classrooms in Minot, North Dakota can now connect with classrooms in Winnipeg to share ideas and data to improve water quality. Government experts in Ottawa can speak to high school students in Manitoba to strengthen their understanding of water policy and decision-making. And Indigenous elders in Northern Manitoba can share their teachings with community members from around the province. These are all really exciting. And of course, we can't wait until we can meet face-to-face again and share these opportunities together. But in the meantime, we'll continue to build these important connections for our lake. Now that this school year is wrapping up, we're looking forward to another busy summer with safe events and campaigns to bring lake lovers together and to celebrate the lake. Last month, on May 20th, in collaboration with Joanna Brierly Jewelry Design, we launched an exclusive collection of Lucky Stone jewelry for Lake Winnipeg. You can purchase these pieces online through Joanna's website for the rest of the year. On July 2nd, we'll be launching Bid for Lake Winnipeg, which is an online art auction returning for its second year, featuring the work of local makers celebrating the lake. On August 6th, our newest event, Bike to the Beach, returns, building on the success of the 2020 Founders Ride. And on August 8th, the Victoria Beach and District Walk for Water is back as well. Now this year, of course, we're keeping a close eye on public health requirements to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe with these events. And you should check our website for updates as the event date approaches. As we head into our second pandemic summer, it is the power of citizen-driven efforts for Lake Winnipeg that continues to give me hope and keep me moving forward. LWF members and supporters are dedicated, passionate people committed to working together for change. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all the efforts that you've made so far for the lake. I hope you will use your voice to continue speaking up. I hope you will consider renewing your LWF membership or becoming a new member. Learn more about our advocacy efforts. Ask questions, share information with your friends and your family and your neighbors. Get in touch with us if you want to know more. We're happy to help. For all of us, it is the joy of a day at the lake that keeps us moving forward. And it is our desire to ensure that our kids and grandkids get to feel that joy too. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see you again at the lake.